Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Two for Talking podcast. I'm your host, Corey Tusick. We've got comedian Joe Bartnick. You can check him out on March 26th at the Cadence Club in North Park. Fantastic venue. And check out his latest tour dates at joebartnick.com. And you hear him on DVE.
Yes, and I will be out in California next Saturday night, Sassoon City, Sunday, Santa Cruz, and the following week, the 6th, Orange County, 7th, Ice House, 8th, Improv, and 9th, or there may be one, but anyway, Friday's Ice House, Saturday's Improv, Sunday, I am in Orange County with Don Jameson and the great Jim Florentine on all those dates in Southern California. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, good.
I know this goes nationwide.
Yes.
And fans everywhere.
Mr. Popular, Jesus, social butterfly, Joe Bartnick over there.
You can check out all his tour dates at joebartnick.com, and he loves to talk hockey if you come up after the show. And as always, we have the great Josh Yowie with The Athletic. Thank you to our sponsors, Bill Neofis and Danny's Pizza and Hoagies. And a quick announcement. Before we start, we have a new sponsor. That sponsor, just like the great game of hockey, started in Canada. But just like the great game of hockey, we brought it to the United States, and we liked it so much. I know. We made it better. And then we eventually just took it over. So now it's brewed out of Buffalo, New York. Labatt Beer has joined us as a sponsor. So if you're an American Penguins fan, grab a nice, cold, American brewed Labatt's. And if you're a Canadian Penguins fan, just know that I'm joking with you and just giving you a hard time. Because we all love you, and we all love Sid, and we want what's best for Sid. But you know what Sid would really like?
A nice cold Labatt.
With this can.
With Mike Lang. The Mike Lang commemorative cans are unbelievable.
Yes. If you are in the Pittsburgh area and you're getting a Labatt, you can get the Mike Lang can. And we thank our new sponsor. And again, Canadians, I'm just giving you a hard time. So, guys, let's get into it.
Says the guy wearing the USA hockey shirt.
Oh, am I? I'll give my thoughts later on the whole USA Canada, from a kid perspective growing up in this country. But we got an Olympic recap to get to. But first and foremost, this is a Penguins podcast, and I'd be remiss if we didn't start with the captain, Sidney Crosby, which, by the way, probably wins the gold medal if he's on the team. Let's be honest. So, what's up with Sid and his injury?
And we should note for those who are watching live and just tuning in, the Penguins made a trade today, which we will also get to later. But the Penguins have traded Brett Kulak to Colorado for Samuel Girard, which I would take straight up for the Penguins, and a second-round pick in 2028, which is unbelievable. So pretty big trade for the Penguins. We'll get to that later. But as for the captain, there's not really much word yet. I can tell you the Penguins were off today. There was no practice. They will practice tomorrow. I think things will be a lot more clear at that point with Sid's situation. Just from some of the players I've talked with the last few days who are close with him, they all gave me the impression that he really was pretty close to playing on Sunday, that Canada wasn't, just trying to send out smoke signals or whatever. So their sense is he's not that far away from being able to play. Does that mean he plays Thursday against the Devils? I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily bet money on that. But I don't think we're looking at a long-term situation. The fact that he skated the day before Sunday, that I think reasonably that's a good sign.
I think immediately, Josh, we were thinking, oh my God, he's out till Christmas, and there's no more Sid and Gino ever. So I think we can all walk back from the ledge of that, right. And right. he was close to skating. To me, it seems in my gut, I think week to week.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, hey, it's better than Christmas.
Given what could have happened,
yes.
Given how bad this could have been for Sid and the Penguins, we all saw, the leg bend the wrong way, which we never see with him. When your legs are like tree trunks, that usually doesn't happen. No, I think everybody was scared, and I can tell you, people in the organization were concerned.
But I can say though, and I said this on the air, I did not think anything was cheap. I think it was all hard hockey. I think the Palat thing was kind of, didn't need to be done. But hey, they're played hard. That wasn't a cheap hit. And did Gudas come up a little high? Yeah, but it was not dirty. I was more unimpressed with Wilson defends McKinnon with 3 minutes left in the game, but he doesn't defend the greatest Canadian hero of all time in the first period. Is that Capital Penguin stuff, Josh?
It was a little strange. There were things I didn't like about how the whole thing went down. Like, was Gudas hit that bad? No. Like, can he be a dirty player? Yeah. That doesn't mean that there was anything wrong with that. I did feel like Sid was being targeted that whole period, which is a little strange.
Right.
Like Palat, that should have been a penalty, and that probably would have been the end of it. They would have been on a power play, and nothing else would have resulted. So we can blame the NHL officiating maybe more than Radko Gudas. So I felt like they were taking runs at him for sure. I wasn't really offended by anything on that particular play, though. It was, I don't know, it was just an unfortunate thing that happens, and we've gotten to the point with Sid where he's been so healthy for more than a decade now that I just think it was jarring for people.
Oh, PTSD.
Yeah, you go back to the concussion years, and I think for a lot of people, like, you think Sid's going to play forever, and when something like this happens, you start thinking about his mortality a little bit as a hockey player, right?
You do, and I'll tell you what it really did in a very selfish, I think, for a lot of people, it washed away the guilt of cheering for America or the guilt of cheering for Sid and not America.
Yeah.
It's like, well, as soon as Sid's not playing, well, I am, Neil Armstrong. I'm George Washington.
Yeah.
I hate Canada. Like I was rooting for Finland.
No, it did change things. And I will say this, and I'm taking nothing away from the American team, who very worthy gold medal winners. And this is one of those what if things that we'll never know. And I know there's some USA fans that are going to get pissed at me for saying this. I bet Canada wins if Sid plays.
They probably score on the 5-on-3.
You think he wasn't going to win his last ever Olympic game? Honestly,
that's the point right there, sir. They score on the 5-on-3.
I bet they do too.
And what makes it sweeter is Jesus didn't.
No.
Oh, he's the next coming. No. You got to win sometime, Jesus. MVP awards when you lose don't count.
I actually felt bad for him when they named him the MVP. Because I'm sure he was thinking to himself, "Jeez, not again! Like, just give it to Hellebuck." And the whole system, by the way,
it's so screwed up.
I don't know why they even have MVPs of Olympic, like the gold medals, what you're shooting for. Why is there an MVP? I'm sure there's like some sponsor reason, but it's insane to me that the voters had to vote at the end of the first period.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid. Like I voted for the Conn Smythe in 16 and 17, and they make you vote for that. I think it's halfway through the game when it could be a deciding game which is also stupid. But at least we knew the Penguins were the only team that could win the cup that night, so it was okay. Like, it's 2026, Joe. We got cell phones.
Yeah.
But I tweet. Like, what are we doing?
That's what I was going to say. It's not the Confederate Congress. We're not sending in our votes from Massachusetts to D.C. by horseback. It's like, just boom, that's it. Or how about a show of hands? Hey, who thinks Hollenbach should be the MVP?
Yeah,
right here.
It's like, let's talk about this for a second now. Like, let's be reasonable. This was one of the great goaltending performances in hockey history, what Hellebuck did. He gave up 4 goals in the last 3 games of the tournament in the medal round.
Yeah.
Like, let's not overthink this. And the Americans, it's not like they outplayed Canada on Sunday. They did not. Hellebuck had to stand on his head, and he did. It was one of the great goaltending performances we've ever seen. So I'm sure he'll take that gold medal over an MVP award that doesn't even mean anything any day. But it was just stupid.
I actually think we get to the nuts and bolts of this. I mean, after the first 2 or 3 shifts, America got caved in.
Yeah.
The whole game.
Oh yeah.
But I think Cooper did not coach a great game. I think he had 2 lines going, the big boys, and then the rat with Bennett and Terrible Tommy was a great line. Other than that, I think he didn't show it. Most people didn't play, and I think Bennett has to see some ice time. I think Suzuki, these guys might score. They might score a goal. I mean, I know Jesus and McKinnon or Jesus and McKinnon, but I don't know. I thought for sure Celebrini was going to bury that breakaway.
Oh.
I mean, because to me, Jesus chokes. McKinnon, how he missed that empty net, I'll never know.
And how many looks did Celebrini have in the third period? Oh my gosh! I mean, and he was one. I thought, other than McDavid, he was probably their best player in the tournament. He was unbelievable.
My God! Yeah, they were always on the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They had so many looks, and it was their best players getting the looks. You mentioned McKinnon, who I didn't think had a great tournament. He didn't look himself.
Nope. No, I think he's hurt.
He might be. I wonder if he's banged up. I know there was some talk that he might have been sick. I don't know. He and Makar didn't really play their best hockey.
Taves did not at all either.
No, certainly not on Sunday.
No.
But again, it's still, if they bury one of those chances, we're having a different conversation. And the conversation we're having is, the Americans still can't score enough to beat the Canadians, but when you only give up one goal, that changes things, and that's why Connor Hellebuck was very clearly the MVP.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if you saw Sid in the line talking to Marchand, but you could kind of read his lips, and he said something along the lines of like, just needed that one goal, and that's what it was. I mean, they were dominating.
Well, and Sid, absolute class in the goal line with his gold medal, and then the post-game interview compared to some other people. But I'd like to just focus on America. And I was very critical of Billy Guerin. I was critical of Sullivan. And I went against Pittsburgh guys, which is not me. Because I thought Trocheck and JT Miller, penalty killings or something, they did. But they weren't at the first shift, but they did. And I was all, Cole Caulfield should go. I was thinking that, and I was as big on, I love Roberts as a player, hopefully as a Penguin, but I thought for sure we need Rusty to score a big goal. The whole time I'm like, if Rusty was out here. But you know what? Jack Hughes came through, so I apologize to the Hughes family scoring that big goal.
He and his brother were unbelievable in the last 3 games of this tournament.
Quinn Hughes, and I'll tell you, the other thing about it is Werenski. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right there with Hughes. Hughes is incredible. They're right there with Makar. I never thought I'd ever say that.
Well,
he's right there with Makar.
And when you look at the 2 rosters, I thought it was a huge advantage for the Americans on the blue line. Yes, Makar is Makar. I'd still take him over anyone. But when you have Quinn Hughes and then you throw Werenski in on a different pairing, that's tough to match. And I thought McAvoy was great too. I'll take that guy on my team any day. He just does everything.
The piece.
Enslaving.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking with Brian Russ the other day about Slavin. I said, you've told me you hate playing against him before. And Rusty said, well, yeah, he's never out of position. He said, you never notice him when he's on the ice if you're watching the game on TV. That's because there's never any scoring chances because he's that good. People don't understand how good he is. So the depth of the American blue line was a great strength. And I thought Canada looked really bad not taking Schaefer, quite honestly.
Oh, I think that was the whole key because after Makar, they didn't have anybody, and I thought Makar looked tired. And I think Cooper ran the big dogs too much.
Yeah, I mean, they went right back to McDavid on the second shift. It was overtime. It was the third shift was him again, and I thought,
And Corey, we've seen that. It reminded me of 2 years ago, Game 7 in Florida, when Florida beat Edmonton 2-1. McDavid played, I think, like 30 minutes. He was out of gas.
He was done,
and he looked like he was out of gas at the end of this game too. And with all the depth they have, maybe Cooper did, play it poorly. Although, listen, if I'm Canada and I'm losing most of a game, I want him out there a lot too. I get that. But he did go back with him awfully fast in overtime and 3-on-3, man. Nothing wears you out more than that. Any player will tell you that. And again, I think just not having Sid, whether it be for that situation or, and the thing is, okay, McDavid's line was great with Celebrini, but they didn't have any other line they could count on after Sid got hurt. Because before Sid went down, that line with Stone and Marner was really good.
Yeah, well, that was a great line. Well, but I did like the Rat with Terrible Tommy and Bennett. I thought they were the only other line going for them in the I almost said Game 7 in the go man. But I didn't even want to dwell on what Canada didn't do. I wanted to dwell on how great the Americans played, especially our top 3 centers. That Eichel played unbelievable two-way hockey.
Yeah, he did.
You say what you want about Austin Matthews not coming through on a couple offensive chances. Why did he shoot the puck at him? Yeah. He made about 3 or 4 defensive back checks that were first class, world class against the top line of the Canadians. And the other guy I thought that played a hell of a series was Dylan Larkin.
Oh,
I thought Dylan Larkin played. You know why? That's why I kind of wished he was the captain. Because I'm like, he leads Detroit. He's really taking a couple big steps, Larkin.
I'm glad you mentioned Matthews. If you go back and watch that game, in the first period, and Edzo commented on, he made 3 unbelievable back checks. I've been critical of Matthews a lot. I didn't think he should have been the captain. I made that very clear. But I give him credit. He played a whale of a game, especially in that game. His defensive work was superb all game, and I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a. I've had Sid tell me he's unbelievable defensively. He's not fun to play against. People don't talk about that. So I think he deserves credit. But also, Joe, I was in the Penguins locker room Sunday, and I just kind of independently asked 5 different players who the best player on Team USA is. Every single one said the same guy. You know who they said?
Matt Boldy?
No. Jack Eichel. Every single one.
See, I thought so too.
And he was phenomenal.
He really was fun because I thought the Kachucks, for whatever reason, I mean they were doing Kachuk things, but I didn't think they really looked I didn't think they really dominated much of the play.
I don't think Matthews himself right now either.
No, I don't think Matthews. And
Yeah.
I just didn't think the younger one. I think he's made a lot of mental errors.
Massive turnover.
Yeah,
that
Brady
almost
wasn't-
backfired.
Brady did not have a good game Sunday, but now their center carried them though. And
Absolutely. How about Boldy's goal? One of the greatest goals we'll ever see. And Edzo's eyesight.
Pulling that
The
out.
fact that Edzo could see it wasn't on the ice.
I know that was good. That was no. Yeah, he made a couple of reads like that. I was like, wow, Edzo brought the A game today.
Edzo was on top. Edzo gold medal from Edzo.
A little bit of appreciation for Edzo for a second, because I don't think we appreciate how great of an announcer he is. He's one of the best. And I mean, we like him as a Pittsburgher because he played for the Penguins and announced for us and coached Sid. But I mean, he is so he's very fair.
Mhm.
He never shades one way or the other. And he actually doesn't drive you nuts, which is rare for a Keller commentator.
It is. And I thought Kenny Albert was great too. I've never been like a huge fan of his.
Oh yeah.
But I thought he was at his best. And one thing I do like about Kenny Albert, he understands and appreciates that silence can be a good thing from broadcasters during big moments.
Yeah.
He has a feel for that. And a lot of broadcasters, yap, and that takes away from it. He understands that. So, no, the whole NBC broadcast was great. And I thought Tirico was unbelievable.
Tirico is incredible at what he does. I remember, I don't know if it was Doc or someone was just out for a month. Remember, he did hockey.
Oh, yeah.
And he was incredible.
Yes.
And when he talked to the players and when he talked in between periods or pregame, he knew it was hockey. He was using the hockey terms.
From Detroit, and he knows his. Oh, yeah. No, he's the most versatile broadcaster in the world right now. I don't think there's a close second. He went from the Super Bowl to Milan and just immediately picked up the coverage the day after. Like, that's not easy.
You know what's funny is I was, of course, because I wasn't going to watch curling. I was watching Edzo and Lang, the Hall of Famer, calling like a game from like 2002. Oh, it was great. I was like 30 Penguins Classics in the last 3 days.
Them announcing Game 7 against Buffalo in 2001.
Edzo just started cheering when Kasparaitis scored.
Edzo just losing his mind.
Yeah, he did. It was great. Listen, the broadcast was great. Even though it was 8 a.m., that didn't bother me. I think anybody who's a hockey fan got up and watched it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
NBC did a really good job, and just the monumental occasion that it was for U.S. hockey, but men's and women. Listen, the U.S. women have completely taken over the sport. Yep. Canada put up an amazing fight to almost beat them, but the U.S. women have beaten them like 5 or 6 games in a row. I mean, their team is young. And I know, listen, I'm at the UPMC Lemieux complex every day for practice. There's more girls players than boys now. It's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. That's the fastest growing sport in the United States is girls hockey.
Former Steeler Sean Sweezum's the guy that runs the program.
He does. So, I mean, the women's hockey is completely under American control now. That sounded like a war the way I said it. I didn't mean it like that. But and now the men's team finally. I've always wanted to see them win gold. I was born April 2nd, 1980, 6 weeks after the miracle. So I thought it was bad luck all these years. So to finally see them at the top of the mountain, and it wasn't a miracle this time. Like, frankly, they're pretty much on an even par with Canada at this point.
They aren't even par. It was great seeing how about Eruzione before the game, his speech, just class.
Yeah.
And then if you saw, he was Larkin would give him a piggyback ride.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I was a little worried for Rizzo there. I thought he was going down.
I was worried for Larkin.
Yeah,
stiff neck.
Just listen. It's not an easy thing to do. That tournament, we all know how great Canada was. And even the other teams, listen, they still had to beat Sweden in the quarterfinals, for God's sake. I know Sweden never looked great in this tournament. It's still Sweden. There's still a lot of great NHL players on that team. So it's just an incredibly difficult thing to do. Russia hasn't won a gold medal ever with NHL players. I know they didn't get the chance this time, but that just goes to show. Like, with all those great years with Ovechkin and Malkin, they had their chances. They still couldn't do it. To get to the top of the mountain in that tournament, that was not easy.
I'm not putting an asterisk because there's no Russians, although I wish there was the Russians, because when you just look at that lineup and you look at those goaltenders. Even the defense is not chopped liver.
No. No, they would have been one of the 3 or 4 best teams, no question.
Oh, by far.
And I don't want to say it invalidated the tournament. That might be too strong of a word, but the political everything aside, just looking at it from a hockey standpoint, it's not the same when Russia's not involved. We've talked about that before, and the way this tournament unfolded with Sweden and Finland, maybe not quite as good as we thought, and with Canada, especially with Crosby hurt, a little wounded. Russia would have had an opportunity. I don't think there's any doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get into that maybe for a second if we have a couple seconds. I was the Penguins had just beaten Buffalo, and me and your partner, Phil, old 29er, were talking at the mothership at iHeartRadio. He's like, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. It's like, yeah, I just wanted watching Penguins classics. I just wanted Penguin hockey. It just take 3 weeks. Come on now.
Way too long.
You want to go to the Olympics? That's great. Make it 1 week.
Do it in the summer.
Well, see, I say, why don't they play in the Summer Olympics?
It'd be a great time to do it.
It's inside anyway. Basketball is a winter sport.
I don't think anybody would watch the Winter Olympics.
But they play in the summer.
That's true.
But you know what I would prefer? I mean, listen, I understand there are logistical issues here, among other things. With all due respect to the other countries, wouldn't you just like to see U.S. and Canada play like a Canada Cup best-of-7 series every September or something? I'd pay to watch that.
But my point for the Olympics, though, is, you know what? You have to qualify to be one of the 8 teams. So every team that wants to play, or maybe one of the 6 teams, every team that wants to play with the big boys, they have that week. So if you're, Leon wants to leave for a week early and help Germany, or whatever the case may be, he can go. And then after that, everyone gets a week, and it's 3 games, and that's it.
Well, that's
what I mean? You have a quarterfinal, you have your semifinal, and you have your gold medal, and that's it.
The first week of the Olympics kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Canada play France.
Yeah.
And as great as McDavid, listen, McDavid, he's the best player in the world. I don't think anybody's disputing that. He's a great, great all-time player. But he put up 4 points against France. That's great. Like, he put up 15 points, Josh, or 13 points. Of course he should be the MVP. No, he put up most of those points against horrible, inferior competition. He only had, I think, 4 points in the last 3 games and no goals, and was a -3. Like, you want to see the best on best. Somebody told me after the first week, like, these games are terrible. Like, who wants to watch this? And I said, I kind of agree. Now, from the quarterfinals on, it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
tons
how many
of overtime.
Four overtime games, I think.
4 overtime games.
Yeah.
And I will say this about McDavid, not to, I'm not, insulting him, but he literally was outscored by Connor Hellebuck. Like, when it comes to the MVP debate in the game, in the gold medal game, Hellebuck ended up with an assist.
No, and
like, it's just
it was a microcosm of McDavid.
Yeah.
He did the exact same thing in the Olympics he does in the playoffs. He's the best player. He puts up the most points. He does not score in the final game.
Yep.
And when he got stopped on that breakaway, that was one of the biggest moments of his career. And I thought after that, we didn't notice him all that much.
He was terrible on the 5-on-3. He was playing the perimeter. They didn't have a net front presence. They just put Bennett out there to stand there, or terrible Tommy.
Yeah.
I didn't think Cooper coached a great game, but as an American, as a Lemieux fan, as a Crosby fan, I like McDavid's performance. Yeah. keeps the Wolves at bay, keeps all the crying Canadians like, oh, you know what? No.
No, and I thought the American team played him extraordinarily well. And it helps, I talk about France or all these teams. Like, a lot of those aren't even NHL players. Imagine playing McDavid for the first time.
Oh, my God.
You've never seen anyone skate like that. Whereas the American defensemen, for instance, not only are they better players, yes, but those guys have played 15 or 20 games against him.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already acclimated to the speed at which he plays. And I think that's a really big deal. And they handled him as well as you possibly could have expected them to. And I think that McKinnon was not himself.
Yes.
That made a real difference to me.
I was shocked that Celebrini didn't score on his breakaway, because I think
he's clutch,
that he is the heir apparent to Sidney Crosby. I really do. I think he's going to be the guy that's like, he already, I think I've said this stat before on the show. He led the NHL in puck battles percentage wins last year.
Like?
Yeah.
I mean, but who does it sound like? That's beating Barkov. That's beating Draisaitl. That's beating Sid.
Right.
That's beating Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Imagine leading the league. He was 18, and he's got the witch gene.
Yeah.
I love that kid. I was shocked he didn't score. The other thing I would say, one point I did not say, that was the best Charlie McAvoy played.
Oh.
I believe since Zdeno Chara was on the team, or I might be off by a year, but I thought maybe he was surrounded by better defensemen, and I just thought he was a better player, because I used to think Charlie McAvoy was not Cal McCarr, but in that next realm, and he kind of disappeared. Well, he had a coming out party. on the
what
Olympics.
a
He
way for
played his
him.
ass off.
I love how he plays.
Yeah.
That guy plays with such of an edge, and he's got the skill and the talent. He can run a power
Oh,
play.
I love
He
that
can-
guy.
But man, he is just a nasty hockey player. And when he was out there against McDavid on a couple of occasions, boy, did he do a nice job against him. The American defense, I feel like we probably haven't talked, and people in general haven't talked enough about the American defenseman. Hellebuck, yes. I mean, obviously he was the tournament MVP, and the forwards did what they did, but the blue line for the Americans was substantially better than Canada's.
Yeah.
You take away Makar, and I thought Makar and Quinn Hughes basically canceled each other out in the tournament. From number 2 through 6,
Right.
It was no
Oh,
contest.
it's not even
But
close.
We
Not
did
close.
kind of know that going in on paper.
Yeah, but you still got to see
Yeah.
it, and they did it. So I just, and I know people gave Billy Guerin and Mike Sullivan a lot of crap for the
Me?
roster.
I
You
did.
mentioned it, Joe, and I did too. I didn't agree with every choice, but I will say, Miller and Trocheck were largely on the team for their ability to kill penalties.
Right.
U.S. went 18 for 18 on the penalty kill.
unbelievable.
I know. I mean,
Total 5 on
I'm
3.
eating crow.
I
And
have to
it's-
give them credit.
I know. And Vinny T's a nice paisan from Pittsburgh. So I was just like, yeah, I need goal scoring. But I'll tell you the other thing too is Jack Hughes. He was before all these freak injuries, not at the steakhouse, but real injuries. He was real close to really being kind of the face of American hockey and kind of the face of hockey in general.
Yeah.
Because he's got some swag to his
does.
game.
Yeah.
And let's see if the NHL can capitalize on it because he has the Jim Craig picture
Oh
with
my
the
God.
American flag. I mean,
Oh.
that is.
As soon as
I
you
mean,
saw it,
that should be a stamp. Stamps are probably $6 now, but
but
that should be a stamp.
it's cheaper to get it printed or something.
No,
I that was an instant classic picture. Jack Hughes, instant American hero. Him and Megan Keller should never have to buy a drink again
I should hope not.
as long as they live.
And another tap of the stick for Pittsburgh ladies
Yeah,
for the American gold. And I saw them win gold in the
That's great.
shootout in Korea.
that's right. You were
And
there.
that was an amazing experience. I'm pro. I love women's hockey. I think it's great stuff. And
When the U.S. and Canada play, I could
Yeah.
watch them all day
Oh,
long 'cause they
and-
hate each other too.
yeah.
It's great.
I mean, it's a real hatred.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very.
but how about Megan Keller? Just you talk about
What a
just
goal
dance the night away.
with a street
I mean,
hockey goal.
I felt bad for the other lady. I'm like, oh my god, like
That's
she
embarrassing.
needs to go back home.
Did you see? There's
She's got a
I think
family.
It was Bruce Bennett is a great photographer. Did you see the picture of the Canadian
Above.
defenseman staring down at the ice right after the goal? It's an unbelievable photo. No, the women's program is. Listen, they are as dominant as men's, women's, whatever. Any sport you can think of, they are so much better than anybody else. And yeah, four of the women on that team played for the Penn's Elite program at
Yeah.
one point. That is, like I said, it doesn't surprise me because I'm telling you, at practice facility, all you see is girls hockey teams. It's amazing how this sport has really become a huge deal in a pretty short period of time too. So an incredible few days for American hockey, men's and women's, boys and girls, for everyone. Very cool to see.
And the other thing would be remiss, Josh, we didn't talk about is Johnny Hockey
Oh,
and the way that they and pure class. And if you weren't welling up, you're not a human being.
Oh man,
And just the Kachuk brothers and Austin Matthews and everybody involved in that was Eichel, an amazing job, and I 1000% class.
Joe. When I saw, I think it was Brock Nelson and Dylan Larkin and Matthew Kachuk
Okay,
when they went to the crowd
yeah.
to get his children. Like I had a tear in my eye.
I'm getting welled up right
I-
now.
I-
I better drink this Labatt.
How could you not? Like, and I listen. It was, and I dealt with Johnny Gaudreau many times. Unbelievably good guy.
Oh,
Everybody loved Johnny. Everybody.
Johnny
I
Hockey.
mean, I think we all have kids. Like we know that feeling is just like
Yes.
you want. If you weren't there for your
Yep.
teammates and your your brothers to
No, I think we all had that.
step in.
I had that thought. Like, what if I was dead and my kids got to do something? I was on a hockey team. Like, it was handled beautifully.
just
It-
great stuff.
It was perfect. It was an incredible moment that we'll never forget about.
I mean, guys at the height of their greatest achievement. I just think because I just remember Matthews was skating around with Johnny Hockey's jersey.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't make it about themselves.
no, not at all.
And just the way Jack Hughes conducted himself, it was funny
the
because
post game interview was great.
post game interview because I remember someone put online, be a Jack Eichel. I'm sorry, be a Jack Hughes. Don't be a Megan Rapinoe. They showed her with like her 9 colors of hair, like taking a knee during the anthem.
Yeah, and all you have to do is say you're proud to be an American because you're an American. We're all.
It was.
He handled it so well. His mom had a great interview. Like, I mean, we talk about a hockey family.
Yeah.
Jesus, his mom played for USA Hockey.
And I think about U.S. Hockey. I'm glad some of the 1980 guys were there.
Yep.
I think Ruzioni and some others were. They've come so close so many times. 2002, 2010, and Four Nations. They've come so close to beating Canada. And I think we almost all expected it to go overtime, right?
Yep.
It had that feel. Right? Of course, it's
I
gonna
know
go
it was a
overtime.
5-on-3, Josh.
That's fair. But it's just, and I know so many people in the Penguins organization have U.S. hockey ties, and I couldn't help but think about Craig Patrick.
Yep.
On that morning, we've talked about it. Craig had a stroke back in December. He is back home now, but he's got a long road ahead of him. He's been through quite a lot in the last couple of
That
months.
had to have been a treat for him to watch.
He was watching. And he was crying. He's a crier. He's the all-time crier. There were tears in his eyes watching that, and you know how much it meant to him and how much it would have meant to Herb if he was still with us. So,
how about Brock Nelson's 3 generations?
how about that?
Oh my God.
Incredible.
Just
1960, 1980, now
How about that?
2026.
Does he have
all
any
gold.
kids? I mean,
He
better-
does. I think
Good.
he was. Yeah. And we had another gold medal coming in the future.
Yeah, no, it was like I said, the last few days of that tournament. Like if you like quality ice hockey, doesn't get much better than that.
Now, hey, I've seen Game 7 Detroit. I've seen a lot of Game 7s with the black and gold mattered. I don't think I've ever seen a hockey game with that much drama, with the stakes that big.
I would agree.
I mean, the breakaways, the 5-on-3, 3-on-3 overtime.
How
How about his save? How he stops Taves? I mean, that's like a force
How about the
field.
save Binnington made on Quinn Hughes too before?
Oh yeah.
I mean, jeez. And the incredible thing about overtime, I think there were 3 faceoffs before the goal. Canada won all 3. And if you win all the faceoffs in 3-on-3, you're going to win
Basically
90% of the time.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But twice McDavid tried to beat everybody, and he couldn't do it, and that led to an odd man rush in the other direction. No, I can't think. And we think of, it's a 2-1 hockey game. Usually 2-1's not that exciting.
Yeah.
That was one of the most exciting games I've ever watched. And I'm not saying that because the USA. I would have told you that if Canada won too. The drama in that game. The only thing that left you feeling hollow afterwards was the fact that 87 didn't play.
Yeah.
My heart went out to him. And some people have, said to me, "Oh, come on, Josh, he's won everything." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I understand this, but that's still probably his last Olympics.
Great article, by the way.
Yep.
And you knew how much that game would have meant to him, not because of his legacy, just because he cares about Canada so much and representing them, and maybe doing so for the last time as the captain, to not be able to play in what will be remembered as one of the biggest games in history. Man, that had to be hard for him.
Yeah. And it as a Pittsburgher, we're in a unique situation. Penguins fans, not all of you are from Pittsburgh, but the 2 gold medals that the U.S. lost previously to Canada, Mario was the captain, Sid was the captain, and I can't. This might sound bad as an American.
Sid wasn't the captain, but he scored the
Oh
goal.
yeah,
so
scored the game
close
winner. Yeah, but I couldn't help but feel okay about it.
part of you was happy. for them,
Like
of course.
you love Mario, you love Sid.
That's right.
and
Oh.
everything they've done for us. So but as soon as Joe, you texted us in our group thread as soon as you said, "Screw Gudis, somebody take him out. Canada's no longer nobody fought."
Oh yeah, no, I was upset. I'm always back terrible Tommy.
Yeah.
Even when he hit Zach Aston-Reese, I'm like, finally somebody hit him.
Avery Hayes did the job a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Avery Hayes. We give it to the Penguins. No, no, I was disappointed with that. But as soon as Sid's not playing, it's like, well, there's absolutely not even an inch of me that wants Canada to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Like before, it was like, oh, it's okay if they win with Sid. Now it's like, no. We have to win.
And
Yeah.
I will say for Sid, as always, he handled it with such dignity.
That's the
afterwards.
beauty of it all. Was
'Cause
classier than anybody else on that.
Yeah, because listen, I love Nathan McKinnon. I do, but he didn't handle it very well.
That was a swing and a miss.
There was some sore loser energy.
Yeah,
coming
it's like
from
if you want to be judged, then Nathan, then you can go spin around with
Got a
some
wide
broad
open-
and sequins.
you had a wide open cage, Nate. Yeah, come on.
And we all
Um,
judged Nate, and we all saw that you missed that one.
Right.
So,
But then to see Sid go out and speak so eloquently as he, and even I love that he put his shoulder pads and everything on.
Yep.
Of course he did.
Yeah,
That was such of a Sid thing to do. And like most of the Canadians, when they took their silver medal, they clearly didn't want to be there, and they're staring ahead. Sid actually shook the guy's hand and said thank you. You could tell he was being very polite, as he always is.
Yeah.
Nobody represents anything better than Sidney Crosby represents the Penguins in Canada. So I know he's won everything there is to win, but I did feel for him But boy, his legacy wasn't hurt in that game.
Nope.
No,
I don't think
that's the beauty.
McDavid's wasn't helped.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's the beauty. Was like, and I tweeted a friend as a group text, and I said they can't win without Sid. And then I was like, they never come back to your Penguins. And I'm like, well, everything it kind of does.
They damn near lost to the Czechs without him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in trouble in that game. Big trouble.
Oh, they were down. And I honestly think, I honestly think that they would have scored on the 5-on-3 with Sidney Crosby. I just think there's no way Jesus looked nervous. There's no way Sid doesn't either deflect a puck in from a great pass from somebody or just control it up top and it's Sid.
There's a difference between
they couldn't win a face-off at times in the third period either. Like a lot of little things that he does that you don't think about.
He just goes over the board. At least he gives him 2 lines. If anything, Cooper gets 2 lines.
That's the thing. And that would have helped McDavid be a little more rested because Cooper was playing the big guys a ton.
Yeah.
No, his loss. Everyone talks about the leader he is and in the locker room. That's all valid. But just from a hockey standpoint, not having him in the middle. We talked about all the great American centers. I mean, think about Eichel, Matthews, Larkin, Jack Hughes, how good they all were. Those are all guys down the middle. Take Sid away from that equation. And what was a Canadian strength, I think, became an American strength in that game.
Absolutely. We got a couple more USA Canada thoughts to get to, Olympic thoughts, and then we'll get to some Penguin stuff. But Mr. Bill Neofis, I'm sure he was watching 8:00 in the morning on Sunday, and he had to have been quite thrilled.
Well, he's a big Sid guy, though, so I think he was. I think he was one of those fans. I don't want to speak for our great sponsor. I think he was on the fence a little bit.
But as soon as Sid's hurt, it's hard to.
Right. But yeah, Bill Neofis, a great hockey man. You hear about him all the time. He's not just a great hockey man. He's a great insurance man, which is why he sponsors us, although the hockey thing's a totally wonderful bonus. Neofis Insurance Group, established since 1916. We always say 1960, the year Maz beat the Yankees. And, of course, Bill Mazeroski passed away the other day. Did you ever meet Maz, by the way?
Did not.
One of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. I mean, ungodly humble. A wonderful man. So I wanted to mention that real quick. But anyway, back to Bill. Bill Neofis Insurance Group. The phone number, 412-364-3388. Whatever your insurance needs are. I'm telling you, there's a lot of insurance needs out there. Car insurance, renter's insurance, pet insurance, you name it. They will take care of you. They will help you through everything, get you the best rates. And you get to talk hockey before and after with them because that's the kind of people they are. So give you the number one more time, 412-364-3388, the Neofis Insurance Group. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill, as always. So just a little bit more on the U.S. Canada. I mean, the Canadian fans are, we're not going to get into anything political, but Canadian fans have been handling it a little poorly and being maybe sore losers here. And they think that we've been a little too braggadocious, I guess, for lack of a better term. But as an American, for every kid out there like me that had a USA Hockey member card in their wallet and went to tournaments in Canada and got looked down upon, I'm talking for those of you that are my age, I'm almost 40, growing up in the 90s and in early 2000s, you go to Canada and they had no respect for you. You could feel the energy from them. It was just this big brother mentality. So for guys like us, not just fans, I felt that firsthand. There's people in Detroit, Michigan. Your friend Fraser from Detroit. Like, Detroit couldn't be any more Canadian. It's hockey town, for God's sake. And they're right across the river from Canada. And I have friends from there that they were like, we were a second-class citizen to the people in Windsor. So for all of those people, that meant a lot. And then for those of us that have just been fans of USA Hockey forever, we never thought we'd be on the same playing field as them. I don't know if you guys felt that way. I never thought of it. Like, oh my God, could you imagine if it was us in Canada as the, 1A, 1B, and here we are. So
yeah, I mean, we are on the same playing field. We beat them. I do think that we have still not yet got, they still have Gretzky, Lemieux, or Sid. Gordie Howe, Rocket Richard, they still have the top 8 or 9. So, and then Yags. So, but yeah, 5-on-5, we're definitely even with them. I mean, we're right there, and it's only growing. The sport is only growing. Look at Austin Matthews from the desert, guys from Jake's from Iowa. Robertson's from Pasadena. You got guys from Florida. So imagine when every kid in America is playing hockey. You know, their time is almost up.
Yeah, no, that's right. And was there some poor loser behavior from north of the border? Yes, and we would have been the same.
Oh, 100%.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I understand why they don't like us right now. I get it. We all do. But it was a great day for American hockey for sure. And I know what you mean, Corey. I mean, there's always a feeling of we invented the game. It's our sport. Don't try to. Yeah, there's always been that sense. But America has caught them. I don't want to say America's better than Canada at hockey. Canada, like Joe said, still produces this. Even to this day, they still have McDavid and Celebrini, for God's sake, and Schaefer, who should have been there. They're all Canadians. So Team Canada's not going anywhere, I assure you. But I think there was a feeling of inevitability in the last 10 or 15 years that this would eventually happen because there is just so much American talent. And that's not going to stop, guys. I mean,
did you see the registration numbers?
Oh, yeah, massive.
They're up 25% for the U.S. and down 33% for Canada.
Yeah.
That might have been the mistake of all roster mistakes, was not bringing Schaefer.
I think so, too.
Because we can always look at him and go, oh, my Jesus, is that guy good? And they needed somebody besides McCarr that could carry the mail on that team.
Yeah. Think about this with the U.S. hockey, though. You know, they've won 2 of the last 3 World Juniors. They won U.S. Women's Olympic gold, and the women's team has an 8-game winning streak over Canada.
Yeah.
Beat Canada 5-0 in round robin. U.S. men beat Canada in the gold medal game. They won the Worlds last year.
Right.
I mean, it's like times are changing.
I will say this: it's gonna mean a lot to the U.S. when 87 hangs them up, because that's gonna be like Jordan retiring. Like,
right.
The league got a little bit easier for somebody else.
And
I mean, he is the winner. He's a winner.
And even though Sid does it in his own understated way, he's very much the leader of that team.
100%.
And I was talking with your buddy Kevin Hayes the other day. He said, something about Sid. I've never felt it with any other player. When you're on the bench beside him, there's this weird aura about him. Like, you just stay calm and you want to play for him. He said, I've never played with him. Well, you just wanted to play for that guy and play hard for that guy. And I've had other players tell me that. And when he's gone, Team Canada won't have that anymore. And they certainly will miss him. So
they won't have the aura. He's Joe Montana.
Yeah.
He's Tom Brady.
He's different. And,
he's the winner.
There's a difference between Tom Brady and Josh Allen. That's McDavid and Crosby.
And I keep thinking about Schaefer not being included. Canada did not learn from its mistakes.
Nope.
2006, Sidney Crosby should have been on that team. Gretzky was the GM. Went with Chris Draper instead because he can kill penalties and not having 18-year-old Sidney Crosby on the team. You think they would have learned because their blue line wasn't that great. And I think we agree that Schaefer is an absolute phenom.
Yeah.
He's going to be the guy who replaces McCarr and Quinn Hughes as, without question, the best defenseman in the game at some point. How do you not take him?
You made me think of a good point. I'd like you to dispel these rumors. There's a nasty rumor out there that somehow Sidney Crosby did not want Bedard on the team, a la Michael Jordan and Magic didn't want Isaiah Thomas. Is that
total bullshit?
Thank you for clearing it.
100% bullshit. Like, I know Sid loves Celebrini. He played with him at the Worlds in Sweden. I covered that back in May, and I could tell he was like really impressed with the kid. Why wouldn't he be? He's like a mini Sid.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, number one, never said a bad word that I know of about Connor Bedard. And I just talked with Jim Rutherford a few weeks ago. You know what Jim told me? He said, in the 7 years I was GM, Sidney Crosby never once told me to trade anyone. He never once told me to go out and get any specific player. He would give his opinion if I asked him, but he said, like other star players, and we know Mario, Yags over the years, don't think they weren't controlling things.
You're picking coaches.
No one's been less like that than Sidney Crosby. You think he was calling up Doug Armstrong? Like, hey, I don't want that damn Bedard on the team because he didn't come play with me in Sweden. No. Absolutely not. And as good as Bedard is, by the way, he's not Macklin Celebrini.
No,
not even close.
Please.
Yeah.
So, but I saw that rumor. One of those idiot sites on Twitter the other day. But it's not true, and it's not fair to Sid when.
No, it just makes me sick. Do you think Sid wastes his time worrying about if Connor Bedard comes or not?
No, I most certainly do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's we get a little defensive there of our stars. I mean, because that's total bullshit. And
well, we know the human being Sidney Crosby is, and the problem is, I know 99% of people are going to see that and know that it's not true. there's that 1%. I always worry about that other small
Yep.
percentage of people who now think, "Oh, how dare Sid? Why would he do that?" Because when there's that much misinformation put out there, some people are going to eat it up.
Yep.
My mom calls me every week, like, "Hey, honey, I saw this on Facebook." I'm like, "No, mom,
Oh,
don't
man.
ever believe anything you see on Facebook. It's not." But some people do, and that's the problem.
There's bad on Facebook.
Yeah, well, the thing, and and this is not to take a shot at Connor. There's a Connor Bedard fan base, and there's a crowd that does think he's as good as Salabrini, and he's just not.
No,
He's just I don't know
great
why.
player.
Because he plays for the Blackhawks. I don't know, but he's not Macklin Salabrini.
Oh, he got more hype than anybody since Sid and McDavid, I would say.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful player. He might end up being a Stamkos type of player. That's great. Macklin Celebrini might end up being a Sidney Crosby type of player.
But the thing with Salabrini too is Celebrini's had less to work with than Connor
Oh my
Bedard.
God, yeah.
That's
I mean,
it's like as crappy of a hand as Bedard was dealt. That's all we ever heard. That no one can. We have no one to surround him. No, I mean Macklin has guys younger than him on the team.
I have a Hart Trophy vote, and he might be my number one pick right now. If they're usually I don't vote for guys if they don't make the playoffs.
Right.
If they make the playoffs,
I
don't know how he doesn't get the Hart Trophy, and he's going to get legitimate consideration. The Sharks are the worst team in the league if you remove him.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't say. I mean, and there are other players having great seasons who deserve consideration. But what Celebrini is doing right now is actually not being discussed enough. I know the Sharks aren't a high-profile team. He is worth staying up for those 10:30 games on the West Coast.
I do all the time. I actually had to rewatch. It was on ESPN, the Sharks Penguins the other night. I was right before PTI. I'm like, yeah, you kidding me? No, and no, hey, it's an achievement. But averaging 3 points a night with the Avalanche or with the Oilers is not like getting the Sharks to a 2-1 victory.
That's right. Yep. Kucherov's unbelievable, but it's not like he doesn't have Jake Gensel and Braden Point and whatever. Celebrini is the very definition of most valuable.
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head Connor Bedard's stats, but he's
having a good year.
Yeah, but I don't think 81 points is what Macklin Celebrini has right now through 55 games, and I don't know if Bedard's done that this season.
No, I know one thing is I know Russia would have scored on a 5-on-3.
Twice.
It would have been Ovechkin from the dot.
Yeah, I think we know what the alignment would have been on the power play. Coach, you know who you're passing to.
Yeah.
With Kirill standing there too.
Not bad.
I mean, that's but yeah, it's fun to watch, and the USA Hockey. The people don't know that. I didn't know this either, but you probably do, Josh. You're following it more, but the national team development program is, I think, such a smart move by them. If people don't know this, because I just know last year, because my nephew got swept into it, is that they cast a wide net and they pull the kids in. They have scouts all over the country, and they pull the best of the best in, and they start developing that. And so I was texting my nephew during it. I'm like, isn't that cool to think that these guys were doing what you were doing? You know what I mean? He plays in these games where he's playing against someone who was his roommate up at Team USA's thing. And it's that's what I read stories these guys are talking about. Oh yeah, we've been playing together with the national development team since we were 16 years old, and here we are at the Olympics. And it's the USA Hockey, Herb Brooks has got to be beyond thrilled. And I think I heard somebody say it might have been on the DV morning show when you were on, Joe, might have been Pursuta talking about, he was talking, Herb Brooks was about what was coming next. He was moving beyond the victory. And I think this is the type of thing that Herb Brooks saw, is developing a program that is as solid as this, because it's not a one-off.
No, and compared to Canada, listen, we have 10 times as many people.
Yeah.
For one thing, Canada's I think about 40 million population, something like that. We're closer to 400 million, right? So we have more people to choose from. And you mentioned the Canadian numbers are down. Tell you one thing, that basketball has become huge in Canada.
Really?
Really, there's a ton of NBA players from Toronto now, especially.
Huh.
I think that's probably made an impact. I don't know that for a fact. But if the United States keeps pumping more money into hockey, we just have so many more people to choose from. It's there. I know a lot of Canadians who have been concerned for a long time that it was a matter of time until America maybe caught up to them.
Every sport's expensive now. I mean,
well, nothing more than hockey.
Yeah, but it used to be hockey, we can't afford that. Now it's kids are doing baseball. It's $2,500. What? That's baseball?
Yeah. Now you're doing my act, Corey.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of kidding. No, it's not my joke. No, but I think not either the money, the equipment. I think more rinks, Because I think if there's a rink in your town, that's much better than having your mom have to get up at 4:30 in the morning and drive you an hour each direction.
Oh no!
I mean, money. I mean, my parents would pay more money just to like not have to drive somewhere.
I mean, listen, when the Penguins are having practice, that's usually like at 11 or 12 o'clock. The rest of the day is youth hockey.
Yep.
You should see it on the weekends.
Yeah.
They have the 2 pads, and the way that building was built, by the way, for those who have been to the UPMC Lemieux complex, there's 2 rinks. If you look on the second rink, just a blank wall, basically. It was built for that wall to be knocked out and for additional pads to be included at some point. So don't be shocked if in the next few years we see a 3rd and a 4th pad. And it all started in 1984. Back then, Joe, you know better than I was just a little kid, but there weren't many rinks. I think Mount Lebanon and maybe Monroeville had a rink. That's about it.
I mean, we skated around South Park outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was like there was 3 indoor rinks.
Now they're everywhere.
Every town had Castle Shane has one. Bethel Park has one. Yeah. They're everywhere.
Bethel Park has on their school district.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's literally there was one wave with 66, then the next wave with 87.
That's
and
right.
the fact that 87 is, I mean, look at Logan Cooley, Sid paid for him to start.
That's right. No, that's
literally. It's like Carnegie. Now I'm saying smart. Like Carnegie built a bunch of libraries, and then everyone got too smart to work in the steel mills. It's like Sid's paid for a bunch of kids to play hockey. Now they're beating Canada.
That's a really good point because
That's true.
I mean, if you look, I live close to Granbury, the rink there, and they don't have public skate. Like you would think there's more public skates, and my kids
time for it.
Let's go skating, and I'm looking at like the schedule. I'm like, oh, there's one in like 3 weeks,
45 minutes.
Yeah,
Public skate, because there's always teams playing games,
Yep.
hosting tournaments, teams practicing. Youth hockey has, and it's not just here. I mean, yes, Pittsburgh is, I think, one of the real hot spots. But when I'm in Florida now, believe it or not, because of the Lightning and Panthers success, hockey's huge down there. You're down there a lot, Joe. If you do your comedy shows down there, in California.
I mean, it's
LA,
huge
it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the Tanks kids play out there.
Yeah, St. Louis is, of all places, St. Louis is like a huge hotbed for youth hockey.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm not going to say they're taking over the sport. I don't think that's fair to Canada or Sweden. There's a lot of great nations that play hockey, but USA sports have never been invested
Dallas
in hockey the way it is now.
Dallas is a spot.
Yep.
I mean, it used to just be Minnesota and New England and Michigan.
Literally.
Now it's like 12 different hotspots.
And those places are still, churning out players.
I got to say, I'm not trying to tell us what to do. It's a democracy here, but I do think there's about people like it's been 45 minutes. I'm ready for some effing Penguins hockey.
No, that's a good
some Penguins hockey.
I've been waiting 3 weeks. Whoa, hey.
sorry, Penguin fans. We just we're getting 3 Americans here getting swept up in the moment. So first of all, Jack Hughes is going to be in Thursday night, so you have your chance to give him a standing ovation. But
he will get one.
Yeah,
he
will get a loud one, and I'm sure the captain will get one as well.
Yeah.
And the other players, Raquel, others that were in. But then this trade here, Josh, it happened right before you walked into the studio. The first thing you said was like, "I'm not taking that. That's a great deal. That's a great deal for Dubas."
Yeah. Brett Kulak was fine during his 2 months in Pittsburgh. I thought he made Letang better.
I think that's the biggest key.
That's something that could be an issue. Letang was a disaster the first couple of months of the season. He was pretty darn good playing with Kulak. They were a good partnership. So you lose Kulak, okay. In return, the Penguins get Sam Girard, and the Avs are a team that's always on national TV, and they're always in the playoffs. So I think most Pittsburghers are probably familiar with Girard. He's only 27 years old. He's not a big guy. He's not great defensively. Boy, can he skate. He can really handle the puck. Very talented offensive defenseman. Makes the Penguins a faster team. He's under contract through next season. So you get him theoretically for 2 playoff runs. He's only 27 years old, Joe. And the biggest, not the biggest thing, I would take Girard straight up for Kulak. As you said, Joe, before we went on the air, he's a better hockey player, and he is.
Yeah.
You also get the 2nd-round pick. I don't know how Dubas keeps getting people to give him these high picks, but the just thinking ahead to the summer, you're going to have all these draft picks that you can use as trade bait. You're going to have $48 million in cap space. It gives Dubas so much flexibility to make massive. You want to go for Jason Robertson this summer? He's got the capital to do it the way no one else does.
Well, I was putting this together on a 579 with a friend of mine. How about Erik Karlsson for Jason Robertson, and we get to keep Raquel? I think this sets up Erik Karlsson's on a banana peel. out of town because I don't think we need 3 guys to move the puck.
It could.
I don't think we needed 2.
I think, but
I mean, I know we're not Team Canada.
I still think it's more likely this summer than it is before the deadline, though.
Well, as a lefty, though, like I wanted to get a little bigger on the back end. They know me. I like big shoulders. So, and I really I like Girard he's a better player because you say he's a 5'6" in Colorado. Yeah. Well, that's Colorado.
Right.
They have guys named Makar, Taves, Manson, and Brett Burns.
Malinsky's pretty good too. Yeah.
So it's like I think your 5 or 6 is okay.
Right. No, Girard's a legitimate. You know what he is? He's a second pairing defenseman. Right.
Right.
Like he's not a top pairing guy. He's not a shutdown guy. But if you have him on your second pair, that's pretty darn good.
So,
and I will say for Letang likes to play with guys who can move the puck, who can skate. He always said he hates playing with the Rob Scuderi types. So maybe it will be a fellow Frenchman.
lefty, yeah, okay.
I mean, they can maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, because obviously he did play better with Kulak, but stylistically, Girard is his type of guy. And just looking toward the future. One guy's 5 years younger and under contract for another year. So I certainly see why Dubas made this deal, and I think it's a good one.
Well, Muse better run drills to keep the F3 high.
Yes.
Those 2 guys on the ice together.
I had no. That was.
I mean, that's the best thing about Kulak is he understood how to play with Letang.
And you can say the same of Wotherspoon knowing how to play with Carlson.
Yes,
right.
I can.
So yes, it's a valid concern. I'm curious to see. I think they're still going to do something else on the blue line, Joe. I think there is a big shouldered guy coming who's probably going to be right-handed. And I think that he and Shea will be kind of used as a shutdown third pairing.
Another thing I was wrong about in the Olympics, Parayko did not look very good in the Olympics.
No, he didn't.
Maybe his value went down.
I think the game was too fast for him and some players because it was incredibly fast.
I mean, that makes sense, because it's such elite talent in that game. So
right.
I was thinking about you every time, Joe. I was like, oh boy.
But a player like him, listen,
I'll take him now.
You'd have to pay a lot to get him, but look at all the draft picks they have that they theoretically could, right? They could try to go get Jason Robertson with all those draft picks and with the other capital that they have. So it's a very good time to be Kyle Dubas. And like I said, I just on the surface, we'll see how it pans out. Even though I did not dislike Kulak, I still think you got a better player and you got younger and you got faster and you got another pretty nice asset in a second-round pick. It's a nice thing to have.
16 picks across the first 3 rounds.
And they're not going to use all those picks. That means there's more trades coming either before the deadline or this summer. And this summer, guys, $48 million in cap space and all these picks to use as trade bait.
Well, I hope $4 million goes to number 71. Any word on that?
Not yet.
As we come back from break, they were supposed to be definitive.
We here's the thing. Dubas was in Italy. So any chats that he's having with JP Barry or Malkin's representatives are probably happening this week, from what I've been told. And Gino didn't want to talk last week. We were in the locker room, it was about a week ago, like Wednesday or Thursday. And a couple people said, Gino, got a second? He doesn't always like talking to the media. No, next week. No. So he clearly didn't want to talk. Dubas is going to do a press conference at some point, I would assume, in the next week or two. So if we don't hear anything off, from anybody else by then, we'll probably have some light shed on the situation. But he said they were going to talk. I don't doubt they're talking probably today, tomorrow. I'm sure it will happen.
Getting on the edge. What are your thoughts on Ricard Raquel in the middle of your buddy Avery Hayes on the wing, and then the lines are the way they're supposed to be, or the way we've always thought they were?
I'm an Avery Hayes fan.
Big fan.
How could you not be? The guy just
had another hat trick.
I mean,
10 goals in 10 games.
Tough as nails.
Yeah.
You know who loves him? Rusty loves him.
Oh, that's great.
He sees a little bit of himself in him, I think.
Right.
And Rusty even said the other day, I forget who wrote the article. One of my colleagues spoke with Rusty about it, and Rusty said, "You know what I like about Avery Hayes? He's nothing handed to him." And he knew he was thinking about himself a little bit.
Yeah,
Said, nothing handed to him. Not the most talented guy. Just willed himself into what he is. Everybody in that room loves this kid. Even if they're completely healthy, we know how great that fourth line has been. Listen, if they think Avery Hayes is a better player than Noel Acciari, they're going to put him in over Noel Acciari, or they're going to find some other way to get him in the lineup. They think that highly of him.
Well, I think we're going to find out a lot in the next 8 days, or whatever. That's next week's the trade deadline.
Sure we are, and I don't think Dubas is done.
5 games in 8 days.
I've been saying for a while we wanted to get a defenseman. He just got one today, but he also gave one up. So I wouldn't be shocked if another one is coming to town. I keep looking at the right side. Or Carlson's been really good this year. Letang's been better, gets hurt a lot. St. Ivany's hurt. Clifton's okay, but I like him better as a 7 than a 6, and I think they do too.
I like him better. Yeah, I like him better as the top pairing guy in Wilkes-Barre.
Right.
I
So,
like him better with Pickering.
yeah, so I don't think Dumba's going to be a help at this point.
No.
So I really think a right-handed defenseman doesn't have to be a star, but just a sturdy player who can play with Ryan Shea, who I really like. If Ryan Shea's on your third pair with a really good defensive right-handed guy, man, that sounds like a nice shutdown pair, does it not? And I think that's probably the
That
goal.
sounds like a defense that you can rely on in the playoffs.
It does, and the more you think about it, like, listen, they still have to make the playoffs, and that's not going to be easy with the schedule they have coming up. But if they get in on paper, like, where's the weakness? Maybe goal, maybe. There's some questions that have to be answered. I still think we're going to see Sergei Murashov at some point, but this is a pretty impressive roster.
I'll be honest with you. I like Kulak. I like Girard better than Kulak as a player.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kulak with Letang
Is a fit.
more than I like Girard with Letang.
And
I
maybe he
just
won't play with him.
especially if it's Carolina or anyone in the playoffs.
No,
Just
that's fair. I mean,
bearing down on those guys. Girard's a little man.
yeah,
He can move the puck, but it's
he's not a big guy. That's his flaw. That's his wart. He is not great in front of the net. Like I said, he's not a shutdown defensive guy. He
Right.
certainly is not. Any Colorado fan will tell you that.
right.
So yeah, Letang is interesting because when he's at his best, he's actually better defensively than he gets credit for.
Yep.
And he is a pretty strong guy.
Yeah,
Like, he
yeah.
When he's at his best. I think remember how he played a couple of years ago after they got Carlson? The first 2 months, he was wonderful, just worried about defensive stuff, nothing else. That's who they need to show up here if he's going to play with Girard. Girard can handle a lot of the puck moving. If Letang can, maybe put away some stubbornness and just play that way and stay healthy, maybe it works. It does sound like a dangerous, volatile pairing, though.
Well, Letang's weakness is not his toughness in front of the net or his toughness or battle level in the corner.
Right.
It's his when he's in the corner getting back to the net.
Right.
Mhm.
He doesn't have that speed, or when he's in front of the net getting to the
Yeah.
corner.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know that they'll play together. I'm assuming that they will.
I would. This sounds ridiculous, and whatever. I'm not punking you guys. I'd almost like to see Graves get another shot.
I wouldn't.
He hasn't been bad. I mean,
he
no,
wasn't bad. He wasn't bad.
He's
Not what his contract was.
and he grew.
but
He grew a pair over the summer, kind of.
he's been better. No, they have options. They have all kinds of options. They could play Ryan Shea with Letang on the second pairing, and you could theoretically use Girard on that way. You have Girard, Letang, and Carlson always on the ice, guys who can really help the forwards. So they have options. I'm guessing he's going to play with Letang. I don't know that for a fact, certainly.
I actually like that more. I actually like EK. We say Wotherspoon and EK. I like Shea, Letang, and then Graves, Girard.
Maybe, or go get a tough right-handed defenseman to play with Girard.
The Russian guy's playing okay.
I don't mind him. Actually,
I don't mind him at all either.
They have depth.
He plays the boards well. He's not afraid to contact.
You've got him and Graves and Clifton and St. Ivany could all be extras, which means one of them might be getting traded. That's a lot of defensemen. But no, that's when I look at the Penguins, I don't see glaring weaknesses, and I see if like Avery Hayes and Rucker McGroarty are your 13th and 14th forwards. Pretty good hockey team, guys. They just have to get number 87 healthy.
I mean, we've talked about it, and you guys know, if you're a listener of the show, I tend to get out over my skis and get a little excited after a couple wins. But I really do think this team, I mean, looking at the East, maybe Tampa is the one, but you don't have to face them. You don't have to face them to the conference final.
Yeah. And what do you think? I've always been a Bros guy.
Mm-hmm.
What like they'd rather have Raquel in the middle than bring up a Bros and just move everybody up one, or maybe putting the kid on the top with Rust and Raquel and putting like a Bros between the two big guys.
I think they like Bros. I don't know if they love him.
Okay.
Like, I just don't. I don't think he's dominated at the AHL level enough where they're comfortable with that. I don't know. I honestly think when they get healthy, it's going to be Crosby with Rust and Raquel.
Right.
And it's going to be Novak with Chinnikov and Malkin.
Right.
I think that's your top six. I really do. And I still think Kendall's going to play with the two big guys.
That's the way it's all said. So all they did was put Raquel in there for Avery Hayes. So Avery, it's like the lines are all the lines. He hasn't put in the blender yet.
Right. So it's too early. I still think that'll be the case. Maybe Hayes just starts playing for Achari. And also, look at the schedule: 17 games in 31 days in March. Brutal travel in that stretch. You're playing against all the best teams in the league. Like, people are going to get hurt, number one. And do you need veterans? Like, does Achari need to play every game in that stretch? Is that smart? Like, wouldn't you want to mix in some of the younger guys, some fresh legs every now and then? They have a lot of options to consider. First things first, you play the Devils and Rangers the first two games. Those are not good hockey teams. Like, they don't want to get off to a bad start. They can really help themselves by starting out maybe 3-1 or something in their first 4 games back before that brutal stretch comes.
Hopefully, Jack and Sully are too hungover.
It might be.
Maybe.
And the Devils, by the way, have to play tomorrow night at home, then come to Pittsburgh.
It's not the worst thing either. That for a week, having your captain out and everyone has to try a little harder, and maybe Gino puts on the Superman outfit, takes off the Batman suit and puts on the Superman suit. That may be a good thing for a week.
For a week,
not for 3 weeks.
Well,
but for a week.
That's always what happens. You can't win without Sid long term. Historically speaking, you can for a week or two.
Right.
And 71's the biggest reason why. And I don't know if Sid's going to be able to play Thursday. I feel like probably not. I just, given the severity of the injury, like, if he couldn't play in the gold medal game Sunday, can he play against the Devils on 4 days later after a long flight?
Probably
I'm guessing not. I don't know that yet. But if he doesn't, I will have my eyes on number 71, because he revels.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing, and he loves Sid. He loves when he's in the lineup, but Gino loves it. Get on my back, boys. Let's do this. And the way he's played this season, he still has it in him. He can't do it every game anymore, but for a few games,
he's had 3 weeks off, and maybe the whole team is going to play a little more defensively sound.
That's usually
because he's not there.
Yeah, and I assume he'll keep his same line mates if that's the case. But again, if we know, it's not like he can't play with Rusty. There's all kinds of options they can do, and sometimes the power play works better when it just goes through him. So, he'll be just fine. And every indication I have is that Sid, nobody thinks he's going to be out for a long time. I don't think that was crap when Canada was saying he was close to playing. I don't think he wouldn't have come out on skates on Sunday to get the medal.
Yeah,
he was, if he's walking around with a ripped ACL or something, like, he would not have. He did practice on Saturday. We know this. So
I can't believe he didn't. I can't believe he didn't play. And we asked Edzo on the radio if he was just dressed as a 13th guy, just so every time they came back to the bench, they had to look Sid in the eye. That was my question. And then Edzo was like, "Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that, But that's what I would have done. I bet they would have I bet McKinnon would have back checked a little harder.
I was waiting before overtime for Sid just to walk out and stand behind the bench like a disapproving parent or something.
The one gentleman that works here in the studio's office is from Canada, so I was giving him a hard time earlier. We were just talking about the game, and he said he couldn't believe Sid didn't play, and I reminded him of Game 7 against 2009. And Sid's really not going to do that, but we kind of came to this point where we were like, they probably score on that power play, the 5-on-3, and even if Sid is hurt, don't you put him down low? Like, just put him down low where he doesn't have to skate a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure Cooper would have been okay with Sid. All right, I'm going to go.
Yeah. I just think with the 13th forward option, and I think that's almost like a bonus. That's almost like you can have a cheerleader sitting there.
And again, I don't know how hurt.
I mean, we could have put a Rosioni sitting there.
I don't know how hurt Sid. Only he knows what his body felt like.
That's what I mean. That's what makes me think that he's more hurt than
he could be. But he is so unselfish, almost to a fault, maybe, in this particular instance, where I'm sure he was thinking in his mind, well, I can't skate quite like I usually do, and this is going to be a fast game. I don't want to be responsible for a 3-on-2 against. I don't want to hurt my team. That's just how he's wired. That's why he didn't play in Detroit, except for one shift after he got hurt in Game 7. It's not like he couldn't skate, but he likes to be treated like everyone else. And I think in his mind's like, well, If anyone else was kind of hurt and couldn't move, they'd be hurting the team. So I'm no different.
And he wants to win.
The
that's
difference
all.
is he is different,
Yeah.
but he doesn't see it that way. So that was the next generation of Canada superstars. That was their opportunity to pick him up for a day. And sorry if it sounds harsh, but they failed.
Yeah.
They
It's
did.
it far be it from me to like criticize McDavid. God, I'm like crappy.
Part of me feels bad for him.
Yeah, I know.
He was great. I mean,
he
come on.
played great, and again, like we said earlier,
Now he's going to go back to Edmonton for
the
God's sake.
the MVP thing, like he had to have been like, really, guys? Like, come on,
Oh my God!
like it does him no favors.
Are we doing this again?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It does him no favors.
I don't revel in. I mean, he's on a Flyer, so I don't revel in any of his pain, but I revel in all of his fans and all of his defenders and everyone that just threw Sid off the mountaintop and is already like shooting at Gretzky and Lemieux on McDavid's behalf. And that's what I can't stand.
Much like, I think I speak for a lot of Pittsburghers, I never really hated Wayne Gretzky. I always hate that, well, of course he's the greatest player of all time. What are you talking about from other people?
Mhm.
Which I find obnoxious. Yep. And now we have, McDavid's the greatest player who ever lived. Like, let's calm down. He's great. He's great. He might end up being that. I don't know. He's probably the most physically gifted I've seen since Mario. But we always, I guess the young people call it recency bias. Yeah. We always want to say whatever we're watching right now is the greatest thing ever. And that's not always the case. And in McDavid's case, yes, he is great. He is clearly the best player in the sport. He's one of the best we've ever seen. He does have I know he won the Four Nations. God bless him. He does have a history in big games. He's never won anything at any level of hockey, really. He's never won anything. Like at some point, that becomes an issue. Like Ovechkin, like he finally won a cup. That's great. It's the only time he's ever gotten past the second round in 21 years. Like that bothers me a little bit. I'm sorry. That still is part of your legacy. And McDavid at some point has to come through in one of those games. I know it's hard. I know the degree of difficulty is different. But he didn't. And yes, he is an all-time great, but that was part of the story. He was not great on Sunday.
You know
what's
a weird thing? Again, I'm a crappy club hockey player, so what do I know? But he doesn't slow the game down ever, and that's something that Mario and Gretzky was great at.
Those two in particular,
I mean they're the best ever. But he's always so fast, and sometimes I'm like, man, Connor, I feel like you've got the defense backed up so far. If you just peel back and get a shot, or create some more options, but it's not his game. So I mean, I
just think there's always going to be an asterisk next to his name if he doesn't win a Stanley Cup. He will always be in the Dan Marino category.
That's who he is right now.
He's the greatest passer ever. Look at his stats. Look at this pass. Oh, no one better. No one more fluid in the pocket. No one with a cannon. Yeah. But Joe Montana has 4 rings, and Terry Bradshaw has 4 rings. And John Elway has 2 rings, and Brady has 7.
How does it?
and that's what it really comes down to.
How does it impact his legacy? Let's say he finishes out his next 2 years in Edmonton. They don't win. Say he goes to Chicago and he wins a cup there, or whatever. Does that change things? Is that okay? Because he'll still be say for 13 years, I never won one at Edmonton.
Well, here's what it does. It makes him LeBron James, which everyone of our generation can go, well, everyone when we grew up, Magic, Bird, Jordan, they won where they were drafted.
That's right.
They won it on their own.
Now,
I mean, they had a team, but
in McDavid's defense, that is not a well-run organization.
No.
And he's not surrounded by a great team there.
I think Leon Draisaitl is you can't say he's not surrounded. I mean, yeah, does he have Gretzky's Edmonton Oilers? No, because there's a salary cap.
Right.
I mean, no. I don't know. I think if he would have had a hat trick in Game 7 and lost, then you have a valid point. When you put up goose eggs because the guy with the Sulky trophy shut you down.
Absolutely.
That's right. And I know
like that's why he win a cup, because Barkov and Sam Reinhart shut him down.
And I know what you mean, Corey. Like he kind of, I don't want to call him a one-trick pony. That's not fair. And if I could skate like that, if anybody could skate like that, they'd always play the game at warp speed. But I know what you mean. And I think his biggest problem, if we're putting him against Lemieux or Gretzky, he's not a natural goal scorer, especially in the way Mario was. So like, how much did he even shoot the puck on Sunday other than the breakaway, which I don't think he got a shot off?
No.
So when you're that much of a pass first player, and he's a brilliant one, you're putting some onus on your teammates to come through. So I don't know. It's an interesting spot he's in, and I don't really like that Edmonton team right now, Joe.
No.
I think there's 3 or 4 teams in the West that are better than them, at least
Oh,
on paper, right?
Yeah, by far.
So,
I mean, I'm never big on like the after the Holy Trinity, and then you have your Crosby, Ovechkin, Gordie Howe debate.
Yager,
I'm not really big on that, but someone just had a really good list of the greatest top 10 all time, and they had McDavid 10th. And I thought that was kind of fair.
He's
Now,
basically-
I mean, me personally, I mean, he has to be there. If I had a gun to my head for one game, I would pick Trottier or Yzerman. But the way it is now, because he's never going to go higher than that right now because he's just not winning.
He does. I will say, in terms of the eye test, you see him play in person. I was like, Jesus, I've never seen anyone like him, because he plays the game at a different speed than anybody else. He's great theater to watch.
Right.
He is. And there's a part of me that feels for him.
Yep.
Because he has not had, yes, he has Draisaitl, but Sid had Malkin and Letang and Fleury and Jordan Stahl. I mean, Sid had a better core to work with.
Billy Guerin.
Yeah. Edmonton has largely made a mess of that roster over the years. So a part of me legitimately feels bad for him. And he was incredible for most of this tournament. He absolutely was. And listen, if Canada wins that game in overtime 2-1, I guarantee you one of the conversations is Connor McDavid the best player ever?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he is. I think he's going to end up in the top 5 probably. I really think someday, like years and years from now, when we look back, it's going to be the Holy Trinity, Crosby and McDavid, and you can put those 5, rank them however you want. But fairly or not, he's going to have to win it once.
Yeah.
He is. And I don't know that he's ever going to do it in Edmonton. Players don't want to play there.
Fans don't want to fan there.
What I see with McDavid, and to me, it's his biggest crutch or whatever thing against passing the Holy Trinity, is he doesn't have that witch gene. You just don't feel that magic. He's faster than everybody, but it's not just like, what just happened?
No.
Like Gretzky and Lemieux's the king of the witches. That's why people in Pittsburgh, Lemieux's number 1. But but when someone says, well, but he has 1,500 less points or whatever it is, then yes, of course that's the thing. You can't argue against Gretzky.
Yeah,
you just can't argue.
Statistically, of course not.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just great. You look at the all-time scorers, and you see this weird thing. If you look at the top 10 scorers of all time in NHL history, this thing that sticks out to you like a sore thumb, and it's everybody has a comma in their games played.
1,000 and something.
Yeah, and Mario is it's 3 digits.
No, that's right. That's true. But at McDavid, I will say this too. I thought McDavid handled himself really well.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people were peppering him with questions about hockey, politics. He handled himself great. And I know for a fact Sid really likes him. They've never had a relationship really until the Four Nations. They've gotten to know each other. Sid speaks very highly of him. Listen, Connor's a free agent in 2 years. Penguins have a lot of cap space. He's got a lot of friends in Erie 2 hours away. That would be all right. I'm just saying.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not knocking Connor at all.
It's just facts.
I can't put him where so many people want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
And I will say he just turned 29, I think, last month. All the other guys in the upper echelon, except for Ovi, all won the cup in their 20s. I think Ovi was 33 when the Caps finally did. So he's, I'm not saying the clock is ticking, but I would say the clock is ticking on his prime.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of more years in his absolute prime, but your mid-30s, you're even early 30s, you're not really in your prime anymore, typically.
No, I mean, we're looking at.
I mean, I just made this point, but I'll make it again. I just think that, if he was always lost in the second round to freight trains like Colorado or Vegas or Dallas, I'd be like, yeah, he just doesn't have a third and fourth line, and his goaltending is mediocre, and Bouchard's a head case. But no, he's literally 3 games away from having 2 Stanley Cups. Yeah. Just like if he just pulled a Mario.
That's right.
That's all you got to do. Gretzky as a king. Just no, I'm getting a hat trick.
Right.
We're going to the finals.
In Toronto. Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
that's what he's never done.
You want to be there. You want to be at the top.
Messier predicting victory and putting up the hat trick.
Yags saving a franchise.
Yes. And that's the one thing about McDavid. And as great as he is, I saw him play for the first time when he was 15. Like, I was blown away. I was like, oh my. I was with Staggy. We went up to Erie to see him play during the lockout. We both looked at each other like we'd just seen the Beatles or something. Wow. But if you look at his history, or the OHL in Erie he's never won anything. He's never won anything, and eventually, that's not completely coincidence. He has an issue in big games of not taking over the way the all-time greats always have. So we'll see how it plays out. He's got a lot of years left, but that's going to hang over him until he does.
And I thought in the 5-1 he missed a breakaway, and I thought in the 5-1-3, like he was stumbling, bumbling, fumbling around with the puck. He didn't just tee up 3 of them, and Hallenbeck, who was probably stopped him all how hot he was.
Yeah.
Given his ability to skate, he should have taken over in the 3-on-3, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And I know it's 3-on-3 hockey, and I'm not a fan of it. It's, it's not actual hockey, but if you look at his skill set compared to everyone else's on the ice, he was made for 3-on-3, and he is great at it, but he didn't come through when he had to.
That's why I was so scared. I'll tell you one thing that did come back. To bite America to tie it up is I knew that icing, that poor icing in the third.
Yeah.
I hate icings in the third period.
It'll kill you every time.
I detest them. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. They ice the
They
puck.
frequently end up in the back of your
It's like
net.
the little brother of the shorthanded goal. It's just the worst feeling ever for a hockey fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like that too many men on ice we got away with.
Oh yeah, we got away with one there. But we'll one more thing we'll get to. We'll talk about the 3-on-3 overtime and all that kind of stuff. Which, but before we do that, Danny's Pizza and Hoagies, which I know you said you talked to Alex before the show about the trade.
Yeah. We were talking about the trade, and I never like to speak for Alex, but actual text was he didn't like Edzo saying that Gretzky was the best player in the world. And he was like, yes,
the true Pittsburgher.
The true Pittsburgher and the true Penguin fan. And I just said, I know, we all went Edzo, but Edzo, he does work. Him and Wayne both work for TNT. It is kind of the company policy that, you have to polish the statue. And also 66's group did can Edzo when he coached the Penguins. So it might be a little bad, but at any rate, that was his. But no matter what he thinks of Edzo, he will give Edzo the best damn Italian hoagie in the Pittsburgh area. It's out in Bethel Park. And it's funny because I was just checking out, I belong to a couple hoagie clubs online, and it's not just me. It's not just you, Josh. Everyone lists the favorite, like, what's your favorite hoagie in Pittsburgh? Danny is on top of like everyone's list.
Of course it is.
It's legendary. And if you don't feel like in an Italian that day, I don't know why you wouldn't. The steak sandwich is incredible too. And of course, the pizzas are amazing. He puts on a delicious pie. They got the hot honey ones out there, and the square cuts, legendary. I'm hungry just thinking about it. I'm telling you, I might go there tonight. Oh no, today's only Tuesday. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. Danny's Pizza and Hoagies, 5159 Library Road, right before you get to Bethel, right before you get to South Park.
Right on 88.
Right on 88, Bethel Park, PA. The phone number, call ahead. You goes right there and pick it up. It's quick though. Actually, you're better off going in there, sitting around, talking hockey. Everyone that works there is cool. Everyone knows hockey. And then you get a cut as an appetizer while you're waiting for your pie or your hoagie to come up.
That's great. That's the way to do it.
That's the pro move. And they have real Coca-Cola too. Oh, the good fountain.
Yes.
Good stuff there. You're a Coca-Cola connoisseur.
I am. My Coke's way better than Pepsi.
Oh yeah, that's not even that's like Avery Hayes versus Kevin Hayes. But Danny's
is great.
Danny's Pizza and Hoagies, and you can find them at Danny'sPizzaandHoagies.com if you want to just check out and get hungry like pregame looking at it. But 412-833-7788. Tell him we sent you. He loves that, and they go talk some hockey and get the best damn Italian hoagie in the world.
How could you beat? I mean, you can't beat that. Go talk Penguins hockey and have a slice and have a hoagie.
Yeah. Or a big pie. The pies are killer too.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alex, and everybody at Danny's.
Great
Pizza and
people,
Hoagies.
great food. Can't say enough good things.
So last thing we want to talk about is the 3-on-3 overtime. I think it's funny that Canada won a 3-on-3 and they had no problem with 3-on-3. And the moment you lose, and don't get me wrong, if USA lost, I would have been like, why are we doing 3-on-3 overtime?
How would they be like, do we get a point?
Yeah.
We took him to OT.
But it to me, I've actually gotten to the point I've become radicalized against overtime period. Like I do 5 minutes of 5-on-5 in the NHL, and if you tie, you tie. Like that's where I'm at now. because this 3-on-3 thing, I'm glad it only went for so long, because otherwise, if that went 10 minutes of 3-on-3, people would have been dragging and it would have been ugly.
And a lot of fans would have had heart attacks too, probably.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't hate 3-on-3. It's entertaining. I didn't like the game being decided, and I actually tweeted that right before it went to overtime, so I didn't want to show bias one way or the other. I understand there's time constraints, the closing ceremonies, blah blah blah. You can play an extra period of 5-on-5. That's a half hour.
Mhm.
There's no reason they couldn't have done that. And at that point, if you want to go to shootouts or 3-on-3, I'm okay with it. Personally, I would have preferred that. I think for a tournament of that magnitude, do we go to 3-on-3 in playoff games? No. Like, I just personally, I don't want to say it cheapened it. I don't think that's the right word, but I wish there could have been a little bit of more 5-on-5, Joe. That's just my thought.
Josh, I think the gold medal should be decided 5-on-5.
Yes.
If at least for 20 minutes.
Preliminary round, whatever, or but gold medal, yes.
Yeah, I've become not a fan of the shootouts in general, maybe because of our problems with it since Eric Christensen left. But the people that say, and I have people who work at DV that think the shootout is actually more like, because the shootout could occur in a regular hockey game, but 3-on-3 very rarely ever occurs. But I think 3-on-3 is at least hockey. If you want to do that in the regular season, I'm okay with it. I kind of just prefer a good old-fashioned tie.
Me too.
I don't mind that, but I just think gold medal games, any medal game, it's got to be 5-on-5 until somebody wins. I mean, who cares? The Olympic, was it the same arena? Is that why they had to clear out? I thought
that's outdoors though. No, that's just they have for television purposes.
You can catch the closing ceremonies on CNBC. Please give me a break. I mean, it's just a bunch of crap music and a bunch of people dancing around. It's not the gold medal in men's hockey.
It's the signature event of the whole tournament. And just getting back to the NHL and the way I've said this forever. They don't want to change things. I would love to see regular season wins get 3 points, overtime wins get 2, still have your loser point. I'd prefer that as opposed to how they do it now. I'm okay with ties too. That doesn't offend me particularly.
Yeah.
But I just 3-on-3. They do it in World Juniors too. What am I missing? I'm sorry. I don't like
real hockey. I mean, it's kind of real hockey. It's like it's a bastardized version of it.
It's like if the NBA went to like a free throw contest or something to decide, dunk contest to decide the winner of it.
I don't
like it.
It hurts my heart to watch. And I was thinking about this with how radicalized I've become against. I want ties. Like that's where I'm at. Get rid of the shootout.
Yeah.
5 minutes of 5-on-5.
Well, you'd have to be radical though. You'd have to be like 3 for a regulation, almost like nothing for a tie.
Well,
people would have to go for it.
I'd be okay with nothing for an overtime loss, because that's how it used to be. Remember, you only got 1 point if it was a tie. Like if you lost in overtime until like the year 99, something like that. You got 0 points.
That's before they went to that's when it was still like 4-on-4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't love. I didn't love the Olympics ending that way. I don't like. It's one of my biggest problems with soccer too. I'm not a soccer person anyway. I don't like shootouts ending the World Cup. Like, I'm sorry. I understand you can't play forever, but
you can.
You can. That's fair. And as a sports fan, I kind of enjoy triple overtime games that keep you up till 3 a.m. It's fun. It's okay. It's what makes hockey unique, right?
That is one thing. I don't want to speak for you guys, but I think almost as every hockey fan in my mind is, I don't care what you really do in the regular season. But if you take away overtime playoff hockey and make not have it be 5-on-5 forever, that's just ruining the fabric of the greatest thing in sports.
That's right.
Is playoff overtime hockey over anything. Playoff overtime hockey is, I think, why us 3 are sitting here.
Yeah.
There's nothing,
Mario.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah,
so
there's nothing.
don't-
I mean, that's what gets cities into. I always say, every city in this country, they become a hockey city once their team has experienced overtime hockey
That's
in
right.
the playoffs.
Yeah, regular season, it's fine. I wouldn't even mind if regular season did 10 minutes of 3-on-3 and then it's a tie if it's still tied.
Yeah.
No, I brought that up with Nathan McKinnon one time. He said you can't do that. I said why? He said we'd have all pulled groins. You don't understand. 3-on-3 just kills your body. So, and that's valid coming from him. But I didn't love the setup
No.
on Sunday. That troubled me a bit. I didn't like five. The same thing at the Four Nations. No, I don't think it was. Four
No,
Nations
they played
wasn't.
5-on-5.
Yeah, it was
I
five
think.
on five. Like I think that's the way to do it. Moving forward. So listen, Americans won. It was great. It was a great day for hockey, as the Badger would say. But yeah, I think moving forward, they might want to rethink that.
Yeah, I hope we do that. And God, let's just get back to just something regular. I can't. The shootout. I'm so. Over.
I'm just glad the Penguins are back. It's been
It's
a
been
tough
a-
3 weeks.
it's been a
I'm
minute.
enjoying writing about this team right now.
Oh yeah. You know, and we didn't do the
the
Lord's work.
Sorry, I
Oh,
missed
very
it.
quickly, let's hear the Lord's work.
Yeah, the Lord's work is I'm going to give it to the Americans, the USA, because Travis Sanheim goes back with the silver.
There it is.
He
Yep.
goes back with the silver. So you think there'd be nothing to celebrate
No
in
Flyers on
Creamsicle
Team
land.
USA, yeah?
Yes.
And we love you, Rick Tockett, but he was on
Oh,
the
Rick,
Canadian bench.
Rick was
yeah.
on the Canadian bench too, yeah. that's
Yeah,
right.
but Rick, I'm sorry you joined the other side.
That's right.
But
He's got his name on the cup 3 times.
I'm not relishing Rick losing. I'm relishing Sandheim losing
That's
because Sandheim had to sit there with everyone saying, "Why'd you bring Travis Sandheim and not Schaefer?"
And by God, it's a valid question.
I mean, anybody.
By God, it backfired big time.
Yeah, it did.
It back. So don't ever take a flyer to the Olympics with you.
That's right.
So that'll do it for us this week. On
Pursuit is going to freak out because I guess Martone is a Canadian.
yeah,
Yeah, he is.
He saw him over and he got a hat trick.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
he's looking pretty good.
Oh boy.
That's who I mean. I'm glad Kendall's playing pretty good. Or I. Oh my
Martone's
God.
pretty good.
Yeah.
he is.
Well, everybody, welcome back to Penguins hockey. We're thrilled. Check out. You might see Joe at the game, a couple of games here, and Josh, as always, is around. So we appreciate you guys, and we hopefully are talking about a handful of wins with Crosby in the lineup next week. And we'll talk to you then.